Okay. Right? Good? Good? Okay. Thank you everyone for your patience. So this is Despina and she will be leading our Q&A, which we are streaming on Instagram. So let me get out of the way and go for it.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed both films, Mishu and Since August. We have here two representatives from Since August film, Diana Zuros, writer and director, and Antoinette Abbamonte, she's the leading actor. Welcome, thank you for coming. Congratulations on your film. So, first I'd like to ask Diane, why did you decide to make this film? What inspired you?
Thank you everybody for being here. I guess it started with me meeting Sabina, the lead actress. It was 2010, at the end of 2010. We met through a little project, and then I don't know, I just got inspired by her talent, and then I just decided to write something for her, and before I knew that she would be okay with, she would agree being in a film for just a low budget production. And so I started writing an outline, and then I got in touch with her, telling her about it, and I said, well, either you be in it or I'm not making it. And she's like, oh, I feel bad saying no, so I'm just gonna say yes. So she agreed to be in it, and so that's how it started. And when I started writing the script, and it's a really silly story. I lived in Hollywood, and my building was overlooking a neighboring building, and I could see through windows of people's apartments, and I was like, oh, that's such a cool idea. If I had a deaf person in the opposite building just signing with somebody else, and then whoever was watching them would understand sign, and the binocular aspect came into play with that. And so I guess that's how it started, the whole thing, and then all the other aspects. Then it took me about 5 months to finish the first draft, and then I guess the final, the whole process went into the second draft, and then the third draft. So within about 7 months, the script was done. So everything started with Sabina, meeting Sabina. And then the whole search for deaf actress, I knew right from the beginning that I wanted a deaf actress for Vedette's role, because she was deaf in the script. Sorry, so I had no connections, because with deaf, had never met a deaf person, never had anybody from deaf community. So I did some research, and a mutual friend connected me to Jules Dameron. She's a really great writer-director that happens to be deaf. And then she connected me to a few deaf actresses, and one of them was Antoinette. And we did auditioning, and others were great as well. But I don't know, when you meet your actress, you just know right away that there's something different about her, and that was the case with me. So right when she walked in, it's just energy that she has is completely, I would say, out of this world, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, she's just amazing. So the whole thing started with Sabina, and then meeting Antoinette was additional inspiration for the story. Right.
So Antoinette, what attracted you to this role?
I don't like the story when you see, deaf people first, or the deaf person first. I want, you to see the story first, for it to come alive. And, for everyone to be a part of the story. So that is why I fell in love first with the story. It's strong and it's very deep. And yeah, the character is very deep. And it's nothing like, my life, so I was very interested in, and how people will feel about the story. Yes, I connected to that, and I really wanted to embody that. And so yes, that's what attracted me to the role. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. We have the ASL interpreter. And Diane, what was the most challenging part while making this film?
Good question. I would say every phase was really, really challenging. Probably the least challenging and the most enjoyable process was the writing process. Because, writers, if you're here or if you're just listening, the luxury of just being with yourself in a room or anywhere, you just depend on your own creativity, and you just don't depend on anything else, and you're not at mercy of anybody's availability or anybody's whatever. So the writing process was just great. Everything else was a challenge. Other than I was really lucky with Antoinette and Sabina both being on board, just I would say 200% of the time. Just they understood that the budget was really, really low. I was struggling, so they were extremely supportive. It's just when you don't have a lot of money, you just and then I can't hire anybody to do anything, so I was doing everything on my own. I would say 90% of everything, and just talking to vendors, trying to bargaining with them. It's everything was challenging. I mean, hence this whole production lasting for 10 years. During production, the plan was to do a 3-week production week, and little did I know, it lasted for about, I would say, 8 months, and then in 2011 and 2012, and then since then I shot a few scenes over the years. One scene was 2015, 2016, 17. So I'm glad that people tell me that it kind of looks seamless.
Was it really the extra scenes?
The extra scenes, yes. The very last scene when we see Antoinette through the door, that was shot in 2017. And I was lucky that Antoinette's hair was the same. And she still had those clothes. I'm like, oh, thank God. So post-production took about 5 years. On and off, not completely like straight 5 years, but on and off because of the budget. We had to reshoot some scenes, we had to add some scenes, so it was just very challenging. All the gray hair, if you see, I don't know if you see my gray hair, but everything is from those last 10 years. And another challenge was right when we started shooting, my computer broke down. My main computer, and I didn't have the money to buy or fix, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna trust my gut feeling because I was the camera person as well. So whatever I shot, I just trusted my feeling. Okay, that's a good shot, that's a good take. I'm just gonna trust. So I didn't get to dailies until a year later. So I didn't know what I had, and I'm like, okay, let me just make sense of everything. So I learned how to edit. It took me about 2 years to make the first cut, and I saw, okay, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I need some additional scenes, but overall the story makes sense and it's kind of cool. So then I all the money that I raised was through my brother, and he's the main investor. So I just told him, like, it looks promising, so can you lend me some money so I can find a professional editor for like a real editing? And like he was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So everything was a challenge because of the low budget.
Thank you very much. Antoinette, what is your favorite scene in this film? Think about it.
Oh, there's so many scenes that I enjoyed. I have two favorite scenes. First was with the cello, connecting that. And the other one was when the kiss, when I kissed her. That was deep. It was a very deep and emotional part of the movie, so I enjoyed both of those scenes.
Thank you very much. Diane, how difficult is it to present emotions in a sign language to a wider audience?
I get asked that quite a lot, and for me as a filmmaker, it actually makes no difference to me. I don't know how it's my experience. Has been my experience that the only thing that I needed to make sure with Antoinette was to explain the intent clearly, so there was no misunderstanding. Explain the intent of the scene, and she was prepared anyways before we started shooting. So yeah, I don't know. It's not any different from anything I've done. Maybe other people have different experiences, but yeah, I don't know if it was actually more powerful
Because you had to relay the emotions,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But I think that question also can be directed at Antoinette because she's the one who maybe sees world differently. I'm not sure. But like for me as a filmmaker, I had no difficulty, or it didn't make any difference to me. We just we understand each other so well that before I explain anything to her, before I convey anything that's in my mind through words, she understands me right away. So yeah, I didn't have any difficulty. It was just like a breeze for me. So would you want to add a few words? Oh, sorry.
Yes, yeah, I'd like to add to that. So I would not say it's the same for a deaf person. I mean, I don't have a voice, or oftentimes hearing people are the voice for me. So when a hearing person laughs, they have to, kind of change that and have control. But for me, when I laugh, I just let it all out. I don't have to, control it. I'm honest. It's honest laughter. And so that was fun for me, for my husband. And he was like, wow, oh my gosh, how you laugh honestly. And in hearing culture, they have to control it and kind of cover it up and shift that. Yep, and I don't hear myself laughing, so yep, yeah, it's an interesting thing, an interesting perspective.
So, Antoinette, what is the message you would like to send to the audience through this film, through your role, or through your participation in this film? Or perhaps I can add that perhaps what is your advice to inspiring actors who speak the sign language?
think for me, I say don't limit yourself. You know, you have to really let go with your mind and with your heart. Let it go and be free. And that applies to everything in life. I don't want people to see me as just a deaf person. I want you to see me for who I am. I'm more than that. My name is Antoinette. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm so many things. So why focus on that? And I have an interpreter today, and I have access. That's everything. I mean, on the phone, I have an interpreter, and I want to have true connections with people and to have people see me on the same level, not less than. And be involved with people.
So, would you encourage people who speak the sign language do acting as well?
Sorry, the question was not clear.
Thank you very much. I guess this is it.
Well, you're turning it off. If you still want to talk,
Okay.
you can.
Is there anyone who wants to ask a question?
Any questions?
Will you repeat the question?
Oh, because I asked you before about an advice you would give to inspiring actors
For the-
to
for the-
communicate,
okay.
in sign language. What would you say to them? Because you had this experience, and you know what it is. It can be done. Because I don't think there are many films in sign language, right? Perhaps you told me before it's only one, maybe 10 years ago. So now you are also the leading actor, right?
Oh, yes. Children of a Lesser God. That's what we talked about. Yeah. Children of a Lesser God. Yes, that was the last time there was a deaf person as the lead role. And that was quite a while back. And honestly, I don't like that movie. But the woman who's deaf in that movie, she's she's angry.
No.
And so, I know. So yes, I just want to emphasize for all hearing people who see that and they thought, oh my gosh, all deaf people are angry? No, that's not the case. That's the wrong idea. But it is really great in that film that the lead role is a deaf person, a deaf woman. And, it's not often that you see a deaf person as the lead. Oftentimes they're the supporting roles in the background and the hearing person is the lead. And no, deaf people can be the lead. They can be the main actress. And so in my experience, yes, I can lead. I can supervise hearing people. I can do that. I can be a leader. So yes, working on this movie, I just want to make sure that the deaf characters should be strong and inspire and support children who are deaf so that they can see a role model, a true strong role model, and know that, deaf people can do it. I want children to see that and say, hey, I can do that too. And so that is my goal before I die. That is my life's mission.
That's amazing. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question?
It's okay if you don't have any questions.
So, okay. Would you like to tell us, Diane, what is your message to the audience through your film?
Oh, sure. Well, I always say, I always say that like every person takes away whatever they're ready for. So this one doesn't have just one message. Every message is different for everybody. But I would say, as a whole production, I just wanted to inspire people in a way that it's a big responsibility, I know, but just to tell them, like, once they know the story behind how this whole thing came about, I had the vision. I didn't have the money, but I had support of the actors, and everybody kind of worked together to make this whole production a reality. So just, if you don't have the money, but you have strong vision and you know there's a story to be told, then don't be afraid to just start on it, and then the doors will open. Like, it's a cliche thing, but it does happen like that. And as a story itself, I think, just like, it's very obvious, but forgiveness towards yourself first and then others. Like, you can't really forgive anybody until you are ready to forgive yourself. So I think it's just simple, just obvious. And by the way, I'm sorry, I did a little sip of vodka before I'm on stage. So if I'm mumbling or so thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, both of you. Antoinette, is there anything else you would like to add?
I want to say thank you to everyone for coming and watching the film.
Thank you for
I want to say
winter.
thank you to Diane, and thank you just to everyone who the story is for. Yes, just everyone who is involved. Diane especially, she worked so hard on this, and I deeply enjoyed all of it. And thank you for interviewing.
And one more thing. Okay. Thank you, big thank you. Big thank you to Winter Film Awards, International Film Festival, for selecting the film, for making this happen, with a little problem issue in the beginning, but we solved it. And thank you, Stephanie, and the whole team for supporting the film, independent film, really independent film, this is the face of it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, both of you. Congratulations. We have a question?
Oh, she just
No. Okay, thank you very much all for coming here. Thank you for interpreting as well. Thank you, both of you. Congratulations again. And thank you all for being here. So, we wish you a good night.